All right, go. We're rolling.
Okay. An espresso has this espresso over ice pods. It's a juicy watermelon flavor, and it looks like I put a lot of cream in it, but actually, really, I didn't put a little bit. But it's like watermelon flavored coffee.
Coffee?
An Americano. I put like some water. It's like a double shot, and then some cream.
If Nick heard you say that, he'll be like, that is fucking gross.
It's so good,
He
actually.
hates watermelon.
Oh, really? Who
Like, he
hates
hates the
watermelon?
fruit. I know. He hates the fruit and he hates the flavor. Like, he doesn't like the Intro
And you
HD.
can't like candy or
No,
like pre-workout.
no. Even the Intro HD watermelon, he doesn't like it.
That's so weird.
I know. So if you tell him I have uh, watermelon flavored coffee, he'll be like, you're gross.
It's not strong, but like you can
It's
taste
got
like
a
a
hint,
little. It's got an essence.
but it
It's
has to
like
be cold.
the
I can't picture.
the like sparkling water, like LaCroix that has like the essence, like someone like breathed it while eating a watermelon on your onto your coffee.
That's quite the
It's
description.
really that was the worst. I don't. That was the worst description I could give.
I I actually made a drink too. That's why I was running late.
What are you
Um,
drinking? A matcha?
yeah. So I was craving matcha, and I was coming back from the gym, and I'm like, I don't want to spend like $6 to $7
You
on a
made it
matcha
yourself?
latte. Yeah. So I went to Whole Foods, and I got these like pre-made like little packet, like single packets. So
Yeah.
I just put like a little bit of water and mixed it with the handheld mixer. Then just almond milk, and then I added a little bit of the almond creamer, vanilla, and then tons of ice, and it tastes really
Isn't
good.
there's like a legit like process to making matcha like properly? Isn't there
You
like
get this little it's like
spoon?
bamboo. It's a bamboo
Yeah.
whisk.
Okay, I've seen it. Yeah.
Like you put it in a little. You even have to have the little bowl. It's
Like
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 yeah,
a mortar
yeah,
whatever.
yes.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Mortar and pest. I don't want to look
I was
stupid.
gonna say
I
pesto.
forgot. No, I forgot.
Yeah, we used to use those in chemistry lab too, because we needed to like
Pestle, it is. That's what I was saying. I was not retarded,
no
but
the
it's
mortar.
not that. But it's like kind of like that,
What
right?
are
Like
they
you
called?
a mortar and pestle.
Nailed it.
Never
We
mind.
learn something new every day. But yeah, you need like a little something like that, and then you go with a bamboo whisk and a little bit of water, and then there's the powder, and then you add ice and the milk into a cup, and then you're supposed to pour that little concentrated matcha mix into the
Mhm.
thing. But I did the opposite. I did the
Oh,
matcha here and then added the.
nice. You did
I'm
it
like,
your
who
own way.
cares?
I love how into like coffee some people get, like who
Yeah,
have a whole like espresso
set
setup
up.
and like they weigh the beans and they
It's
grind
like
and they're
a
tampering
whole
and they're
barista.
stamping and yeah, I can get real.
I wish I was a barista or like I like knew half of the shit that they know how to make.
Oh,
And then you say a splash of almond milk, then you get like the whole thing is
they
white.
pour like half a gallon in
Yeah,
it.
I don't know why they do that, but and then I love to say Starbucks. If you say almond milk, like let's say you get a grande pike, you say, "Can I add oat milk or almond milk?" They charge you like 50 something cents for the milk. So instead, I ask for a splash. They don't charge you for it.
But they give you the same amount, I'm sure, because like
Almost.
a little
They
bit less
actually give you
maybe.
what you want. Because if you say, "Can I have almond milk in there?" I feel like they add what's it called? It says half an inch or no, it's way more than that. Or I don't know what that means. But when I ask for a splash, it's like 1/4. So I'm like, great.
Yeah.
You don't get charged for more, and then you get exactly the right ratio that you want. So
There's all these like secret hack ways to like order things to like get your drink cheaper. I don't personally know them, but like instead of ordering like a latte, order like a tea with blah blah blah, like
hmm
chai tea instead of like a chai latte because a chai latte is more expensive.
and it
Things
can be
like
like $2 more expensive. Like it's quite a lot more expensive just because of the name, rather than if you make your own different way around it.
hmm
It's
Chai
crazy.
is one of the things that like I miss so much during prep because it's my like favorite like winter drink. But if you've ever tried the like sugar-free chai, but I think I forget the brand, but it's so
No.
disgusting. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my entire life, and it's like the
I thought
one
you were gonna
flavor
say
that
it
they
was so
cannot
good.
nail. No, I wish. It's like chai is like the one flavor you cannot nail sugar-free.
No,
It's
probably
like,
not. Because it's like a hint of spice with like sweet.
yeah.
And it's just like,
They just like make like a chai tea and then like I don't know, add
have you had a
stupid
dirty like
a dirty
dirty
chai.
chai?
I
They're so
love
good,
yeah,
but they're
dirty
so
chai.
expensive.
I know. They're
If you
so
get them from Starbucks, it's like just as much as a matcha latte.
it's so good.
And I'm like, dude, it probably costs you like less than $1 to make that. Like the margin on that is huge. But
They're getting us.
I
They're
know.
doing us over.
And we fall for it. Just like
Mm.
have you got the new app, Threads?
For Starbucks?
No.
Or what? For what?
Are you kidding?
The Threads thing? What the hell is that even?
It's an app. It's like Twitter.
I have no idea what I've been seeing it. I just haven't investigated it. What is it?
Girl,
Is it Instagram?
you're missing out. No, it's literally Twitter. So now Elon Musk is trying to sue the Facebook guy because he said that basically he's cheating by copying exactly what Twitter is. So basically just sign up through your not through your Instagram, you download the app and then it gives you like, it's literally Twitter. Like I've been threading.
Oh.
And it's actually so fun.
Is it fun?
I find it fun. And a lot of people are hooked on it because you literally just, I feel like this is the part of Instagram that you don't see, which is like people updating like their thoughts or their jokes. You know,
Is it like a more personal?
Yeah, I think
side?
Obviously some people are recycling which is kind of like not the point.
Their stories or something.
Yeah, they're recycling what they post on Instagram. They kind of post it on Threads
and
again.
It's like a double
yeah,
whammy.
So it kind of becomes like, okay, stop doing that. Or I like to have the balance where it's just like Instagram is for the ads and like the promos and like whatever job you're doing, but I feel like Threads is more like to get to know someone or to get to know the sarcastic side of someone,
like who the person is.
Yeah, like I put some like pretty passive aggressive things here.
No, what? Who are you mad at?
It's just funny because, like, for example, I don't know. I said here, anyone else sense those females who just hate when you're glowing or doing better? Like, honey, out of here with those vibes. Like, who do I think I am?
So I don't know. Like, you were on one.
I was, and I'm like, I've been slacking on my threads today. Sorry, I was living a little. How dare? You know, it's just like you just post random shit, and it just like makes you. I don't know. It's more personable in my opinion. But you need to get on that.
I don't know. I can't keep up with all this. I'm old. I can't keep up with all this.
Shut up. I'm almost 33. What am I? Freaking immature?
Mine and Justin's birthday is next month.
When?
I'm 13. He's 16.
Oh, Nick is the 3rd.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Nick, you and Justin
get together and have a. He's not a Leo yet, is he?
He's a Leo. He's a Leo.
Oh, he's a Leo.
Yeah, Leos are hard to deal with.
Oh no.
Why am I surrounded by Leos? My brother's a Leo too.
Oh no, you poor thing.
Yeah, girl.
Just stubborn assholes.
Yeah, and just like so in their, it's like whatever they say it is, you know? But yeah, also when you get your, I got too close to the mic. When you get your threads, you get like a number. So basically,
I saw that. I've been seeing that.
So I got 5. So I'm the 5,448,368. You're probably gonna be like number 70 million, because by now everyone has got it.
Yeah.
So you're behind. So get on.
I'm already I feel like too attached to my goddamn phone.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like, oh. Makes me
It's
feel icky sometimes.
it's like our brain is just like going like this. Like
Yeah, it's like there's nothing left but mush.
it's technically mush. Have you ever seen a brain splatter on a road?
What?
I have.
A real you've physically seen brain splatter on the road?
Yeah.
Was this in Ecuador?
Yeah.
That's
Obviously, it was because I
crazy.
was in a school bus, and then we were driving by an accident. It was a kid. It's not even an adult. So you can
No.
see like brain matter everywhere.
Oh my god, that'd be traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I remember like in high school or like as a kid, I would have you ever been on those like websites that post like pictures of like traumatizing things like uncensored. I
No.
think there was like a website called like rotten.com or whatever, and it was like autopsy pictures or like crime scene photos or like it's like the dark web, the dark internet, and like there was some gnarly shit on there, like beheadings and people being like, "This is so brutal." Dark. Why am I talking about this? But
Yeah, the
like,
CIA is gonna be like searching your search history. Like,
but
what is this
like
girl?
you know, like gangs, like beheading or like dipping people in acid, and they're like, you could like find the pictures of the.
No, some people are brutal when it comes to like that stuff. It's like some stuff that you can't even think of you will do to a person, like Jeffrey Dahmer kind of stuff. You know?
Can you like? I just can't imagine how you get to that point where like doing that kind of thing to someone like you're capable of doing that. How do you commit those kind of things to another human being? Like
You know
I
what?
don't
Like
even know how you get to that point.
I've been watching these criminal documentaries on Netflix, and some of them, like the guys are like the most like normal looking guys, and they have kids,
They have families, they have wives, they have kids, and then yet like
and then they go either kill kids or rape them, or like
yeah, a
child
lot of them are
pornography.
family men. Like who is that? Was it like who
And in
has
my
the
head, don't you
family?
think like, do these people ever stop themselves for a second, and then they're like, what if someone did this to my kid? Do they never like stop and think like that? Because in my head, I'm like, how can you do something to
I
someone
don't know.
and then you have kids?
I know they have kids and yet they're like do things to kids or
Or just
especially
like
like the people
kill?
who have like daughters or wives, sisters, whatever, and then still go out and like rape and kill women. Like
I
I don't.
think, yeah, that
I think they
is.
just legitimately are could be like have sociopathic tendencies where they lack that like ability to empathize with other humans or even like consider the feelings or don't make that like connection. Like it's just they
Yeah,
don't
but
have that.
it's like, I wonder how they do that, and then they go home and then they act like nothing happened, and then now they try to connect with their person or like their family. Yeah, it's like some next level behavior that I don't think psychologists or like
Mm-hmm.
psychiatrists, neurologists have been able to really figure out. Because I
Like
feel like
there's
something just becomes wicked in your brain. Like just
they just I don't know. Yeah, there's like that famous serial killer who is from excuse me, ma. Where the hell was he from? The BTK killer from Kansas, and he had like two children and a wife, and they had no idea. I don't think about any of his decade long like hiatus of murdering people. Like, how do you hide that?
what BTK sounds from? I think I watched that.
Um, his real
What
name
does
was
it
like
stand for?
Dennis Rader. BTK, bind, torture, kill
Oh
is
yes,
what
that's
it.
the one I was watching.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
He was arrested in 2005.
and it takes them
Yeah,
years. Like that was the thing. It's like it takes the um, law enforcement to like find them like years after, because they can get away with murder
yeah.
so
He was
for
the
so
one
many
that would
years.
like take pictures of himself wearing like women's clothing and
I know, isn't it crazy that you may go to a grocery store and then you may be standing next to someone who's doing stuff like that?
I randomly asked Justin something the other day that was like, do you think we've ever like walked past a dead body, like a hidden dead body or what walked past somebody who like killed somebody recently, like just thinking about those things, like I'm sure
He probably looks at you like.
he was like, are you, are you
Well,
okay?
we live like obviously kind of on the sides of Las Vegas, so there's a lot of desert area, and we always drive by this like back road. It's like a long road, and it's literally just desert. And then we always wonder, or Nick
If
is
the
like, for
how many
sure.
dead? There's probably hundreds.
I think
Did you ever
so.
watch CSI growing up at all?
No,
Like the one that in
everyone was
Las
into the
Vegas?
show, and I wasn't.
CSI.
So
I used to watch that show all the time with my family, like the original OG one that was like in Las Vegas, and obviously it's all dramatized, make up belief stuff. But I'm sure like maybe they've based some of the stories
on
on
real
real
stories,
things.
yeah. Because we even drive sometimes at like 10 p.m. and it's like super, super dark. Like there's nothing, no light at all. And then you just drive and then you see a random car just coming out of the desert.
Have you seen that new big spear thing? The is it what's it called? The MGM
Oh,
spear?
yeah,
Is that what it's called?
I haven't seen it. We barely go to the strip. And lately I've been going to Dragons. I usually drive like, the most
It
I'll drive
looks
is like,
so crazy.
it is crazy. Like I saw it in December when it was still being built. But it's crazy how much like light there is.
How much light it emits. Like
Yeah, like it's just like the technology on that thing is like insane, and the
I think it'd
power
be
that it
really
probably.
cool for like Halloween, and it's like a big pumpkin or something spooky. That would be fun.
Well, yeah, because even during 4th of July, it was like
Fireworks.
simulating fireworks, and then at some point they made it like a full moon, like a moon.
Oh, that's
It looked
cool.
like the moon was just chilling on the strip.
What
Yeah,
the
I was
world?
like,
Like you know that future you used to like if envision when you were younger, like all flying cars and this and that. Like it's happening right now. We don't
yeah.
even like
There's
realize
one
it.
approved, didn't they? Or I saw that on Puberty or whatever this page is.
A flying car.
Yeah,
I think they have got something, but
it was
it's
like
like
the first one was
ridiculously
approved.
expensive or something.
Oh, I can't imagine the amount of liability that there is on that for now because it's just like such a brand new project.
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming.
It's here.
It's
It's
here.
here.
It's happening as we speak.
My favorite movie of like all time is The Fifth Element, and I always used to feel like that was what the future was going to be like. Have you ever seen that one with Bruce Willis and Mia Djokovic?
No,
Fifth Element. Oh my
probably have.
god, it's so good. It's like a nine. It's a '90s movie. It's so good.
The Fifth
It's like
Element.
kind of campy sci-fi, but it's
Oh no, I have not watched it.
it's legit like my favorite.
Don't come for me if you
But
have
with
watched it and
Mia Djokovic, Lilu. I
yeah.
dressed up for her on Halloween one time.
I think I saw a picture actually.
I like the orange hair and the
Yeah.
rubber suspenders and the gold pants.
Very original. You don't just follow the trends because I
Me
feel
and
like
Justin used to like dress up a lot until I think last year the last time we dressed up he was competing, so he was like not into it.
yeah.
But we've done like Mad Max and Furiosa. We've done Arnold, Sarah Connor. So I don't know what we're gonna do next time.
This year, what are you guys gonna?
Yeah, this year I like dressing up um in like cool or like original like couples costume things.
You guys should do like a superhero, either DC or Marvel.
I know. I tried to do Mr. and Miss Incredible one year and he like didn't want to do it.
Like paint himself. No,
No,
wait, that's
I
not
had
the.
like the costume that had like but it had like
Oh yeah,
fake
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
had like fake muscles on it, which was like weird on top of his muscles. So it was just like look.
He probably felt offended. He's like, so what about my
Like I
muscles?
don't need these fake muscles. I
Yeah,
can't
he's
really
like, I got them. I feel like Nick, you can just splash him with like green paint, and then he just becomes the Hulk right there. It's like that's it.
Yeah.
Just roll.
Usually I like would kind of do um like 90s style like movies. It kind of has been our vibe. So I don't know what we're gonna do next, but
Yeah, there's so many like options that I can't even think of one right now. But so that was like a long catching up on
Hey
like the
guys,
newest,
welcome to the
latest.
podcast.
Yeah, literally.
We're doing a Q&A kind of, aren't we?
Yeah, so I got a few questions that I thought were like interesting. So there was always a question, like there's always those questionable ones. Like, would you ever date a bisexual man? Who has that?
Um,
Personally, I would not.
no.
I
I
mean,
okay. I feel like probably not, because some of the qualities that I'm attracted to are like really masculine men, and I feeling like someone who maybe is attracted to both men and women might not be completely masculine in all their features, and that's fine. That's great. But for me personally, I probably wouldn't be like attracted to that.
yeah,
Not, I never say no, because like so many times in my life I'd be like, I'll never do this. Like I was like, I'll never compete in bodybuilding, and then like here I am. So it's like I'll never say no.
yeah. Never say never. There's always that like the possibility that something could happen, even though you never thought you would even be open to the idea. But I feel like personally, I wouldn't, just because one, that obviously there's nothing against like people who choose to be bisexual, and then hey, if you like a little bit of both worlds, then that's totally fine. But I just think personally, I don't think it would align with like my morals in what I think you look for in a partner, because I think there will be that insecurity as well, because if they like guys as well, it's like,
You're
well, I'm
like,
not.
fuck, now I gotta worry about everybody.
Yeah, so am I supposed to like wear a strap on to like completely give you everything you like?
You're like
You know?
kind of double insecure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So to be quite honest, like that would be my thing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why?
You can never
Yeah.
control who you fall in love with sometimes, but I just
Hmm.
think that like the type of person that would be bisexual part would not be someone that I would be like
Trapped in.
romantically interested in, just because like
There's
I
the
mentioned, I really
intimacy,
like
like not. Yeah.
masculine men, like
Yeah.
really rugged Tom Hardy types. That's my favorite.
Shout out to
My
Tom
like
Hardy.
I fucking love Tom Hardy.
Justin gonna be like, excuse me.
We started watching Peaky Blinders, and Tom Hardy's in the second season.
I know he's hot. Yeah.
He's like, he's a man.
Yeah. His voice and everything. Just that. I think he's short though.
Probably like in the 5'8", 5'9". I don't know. I'm curious.
But yeah. But
He seems average height.
yeah. Not like Mark Wahlberg. I can't say his name.
5'9".
Okay. That's
okay.
above average. Like a little,
Yeah.
or around. Yeah. Well, so there's the answer. I don't think I could. But I know there are women and men who get married and then they get divorced, and then their next partner, how would you feel if their next partner is like a guy?
I'd probably be pretty confused. Like,
yeah,
if that was something new, like that they did and had never expressed to me in our relationship that they were interested in, I'd probably be pretty confused. But I mean, they've
would
moved on.
Would you feel like you were going to that thinking and like, did I make them go that route? Because they're no longer. Yeah. Did I make him not like girls anymore?
Was I that terrible?
Yeah.
That would be tough,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think you would wonder what you did wrong, or did they always have those feelings for the opposite same sex? I mean,
yeah, because then you start to wonder. You're like, well, were they always attracted? Even then, he was trying to convince himself that he liked girls, so he decided to stay with me. There would be a lot of like, what happens, and like question marks in my head, probably. Yeah. Okay, so the other one. Well, this is completely different topic, but can you explain the divisions in the pro women's bodybuilding? Okay, I think we should just like obviously for the people who are not familiar with like all the bodybuilding, we should start probably with like the basic criteria of each category. Obviously, I'll talk about bikini. So bikini is basically, um, I'm gonna say the Victoria's Secret with muscles kind
Kind
of
of
thing.
beach body. Like
Yeah,
it's probably what your average like girl wants to look like.
yeah. So
Probably
it's not like
minus the like conditioning that you have to achieve.
yeah, not overly muscular or like vascular or striated. Uh, they always look for like the X frame, which is like um, decently capped shoulders, tight waist, round glutes, and then not big quads.
So
And
like no lines, no not overly grainy or dry.
mhm, no hardness and
So
like
let's
too
start off saying
conditioned.
like the divisions are bikini, wellness, figure, physique, and then women's bodybuilding. So those are the all the available
Yeah.
divisions in the NPC and IFBB. I don't. Does the PCA have different? Like some of the other divisions or
I don't I only know about the like the IFBB, which is like NPC, and the CPA, which is
yeah. I know
basically the
that the
same.
PCA, which is popular over in the UK, but they also have it in America. They have, I think, figure, but they do like different poses.
And
Have
they
you
also
seen that?
I've seen that they do different bikini
They
suits.
yeah.
Like they
So
have like the ones with like cups, and like they look more like a bra rather than a bikini.
kind of like a wellness.
Yeah, and they do
Yeah,
the high waist kind of like thongs. It's like very different, and then their posing is like very like I don't know. It seems less flowy, in my opinion. It's more like
yeah,
strike the pose and then move to the next.
yeah. And some of the figure girls, it seems like in the PCA, do a lot of like physique posing. So they do like this and this and stuff.
I
Which
can't
you
even do the finger.
won't find that in the NPC or
And
IFBB
yeah,
figure.
yeah,
Unless you're just doing that in your individual, and I think that might be
hurt you.
frowned upon. I don't know.
It will
They might
because
they might be like,
there are mandatories. Like there's not freestyle. The only freestyling you get is how you transition. But
mm-hmm,
other than that, like everything, it's like a mandatory pose. So there's like a little bit of flexibility when it comes to your flow and transitions, but everything else you have to hit the mandatories. And if you do hit something that's not within your category, will hurt you because then you're showcasing something that they may not want to see. So that would definitely hurt you. Like if I did a wellness pose on bikini and then my quads show,
mm-hmm,
definitely like will hurt me because then it's not like the quads should not be the highlight for bikini. So obviously then I feel like after bikini comes wellness, which is when
so
you
that's disproportionate.
yeah,
Top lower half is a lot bigger than the top
there's not
half.
much of an X frame in the sense of like the hourglass, like more like a like the proportion is like more symmetrical between upper and
Mm-hmm.
lower.
Like an upside down pear, yeah,
Yeah. It's
or
like
no, like a pear,
it's
pear
like
shape,
crazy
yeah.
muscular lower body.
And so, conditioning is probably a little bit more than bikini.
Just a
They're looking
slight,
for the
yeah.
tie-ins for the hamstring and the glute. Some striations in the quads are obviously, and then still tight waist, cap shoulders.
Yeah.
But they're looking for like Clydesdale legs.
Like it's insane. But I feel
I
like
feel like that's the most ideal physique. Like if I were to like pick what I wanted my body to look like and I wasn't competing, I would be like, oh, I want to look like a wellness girl.
yeah,
Duh.
yeah, because they have crazy legs and glutes, and you just
Yeah.
like but the thing is like when you see them under the stage lights, they look so big, but then they're standing next to you and they look so small. Not so
Uh-huh.
small, but they don't look as like big. So I think it's crazy how the stage lights do
Yeah,
work.
and that's kind of what I was standing next to like a few competitors when we went up to Toronto, and I was like, oh, you guys are a lot smaller than I thought you were gonna be. Like, and I'm not gonna name names, but I'm like, damn, like I feel like I'm like three of you right now, but I'm off season, so that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, when you lean out, you like become so tiny. What was
Mm-hmm.
your lean, like your stage weight?
I was 121 on stage. I'm currently 161.
Okay. So, but I feel like you added so much like
Yeah, and
mass.
I have no clue because the biggest I got to was like 140. So I'm quite a bit heavier than I've ever been in my life. So we'll see.
But when you posted that comparison, and if you guys want to see that comparison, it's like, what's your Instagram?
Jasmine underscore Shier. I'll see if I can find it.
You don't like it looks you look so much yeah.
Oh, my ring light. Whatever.
Can I
You get the
yeah,
picture.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it
so
looks crazy.
that was like a few, maybe like 8 weeks post show in the black. And then that, and the graffiti was like a few weeks ago.
So that's you already full, like in the eight post. Like imagine you did like a comparison of, let's say, like show day maybe to
That,
now,
that'll be interesting.
like that Jasmine ate the current Jasmine.
Yeah.
No,
That's
vice
my
versa.
wardrobe is saying the same thing too. Like I literally cannot fit into any of my clothes. It's like it's almost, it's almost like defeating, but not. Like I'm like trying to put on these pants and it's like not going around my fucking waist and my butt and like
I know as females that can like really be like a self-esteem killer because you're like, shit, am I that big? But
I
then
feel like I don't look good in any of like my clothes right now, so that's why I'm sticking to like really oversized things, or like parachute pants and a tank top still looks okay, but like any of my other cute outfits,
they're but that's what you tell yourself.
they're waiting for later.
You're like, just watch me when I start prepping. Well, you started, right? When did you start it?
I'm like 22 weeks out right now, so I pretty much have started. Like we've cleaned up my diet, dropped food, add a little bit more cardio, so pretty much in prep. Yeah.
Have you moved anything at all? Because I know
Moved.
sometimes it takes like the body like 2 weeks or three
Oh,
weeks
like
to.
I've dropped like a couple pounds, and I'm definitely feeling like tighter than I was in that picture even. So I need
Yeah,
to take next week. I'll do another check in,
but you
and
can
we'll
see that it's like
see.
quality muscle too, like quality weight because when like your quads, you can see like separation. And usually, if you
Hmm.
gain too much fat, your legs will even if you
Yeah,
flex,
I
you will
still
not
have
see lines.
some lines in my legs, and I did gain some my love handles, but we'll get rid of those.
Dude, I saw you stiff doing Romanian or stiff like deadlifts with
Hmm.
3 plates aside. I
Yeah,
was like, what?
I pretty happy with how that's moving, but like I have to remind people that I've been deadlifting 315 for like since 2015. Like so it it's I've been in that range of weight for a
It's
really
still,
long
I don't
time.
think that makes it less impressive because to be honest, like I don't want to be that person, but for a female, like that's quite a lot of weight to
Yeah, it's
do on a
pretty strong.
stiff.
You know, it's pretty strong, and the thing that is improving is just like my execution. Like every week, I'm not necessarily gaining reps at this point. Like I
Just
probably could
control,
grind out a new PR, but I'm just trying to like improve on my execution, my control.
contraction. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, like more like hypertrophy, like bodybuilding, like
Yeah, and then
base.
if I get to that point where I'm like doing like I'm trying to hit, so I hit 10, and then we did a lot of traveling, and it just got funky, and then I think once I hit like 11 or 12, then I'll go up. But until then, I just try and improve like execution.
Do you do the go up like do you do on like 2.5 pounds increments or you go balls to the
Usually
wall
by
25?
fives. No,
Okay.
no, no. I usually like fives,
Okay.
and
Because I
then
feel
no.
like at that weight, even like 2.5
Yeah,
aside.
if I had it a quarter, I'd probably do it for like three, and then like, like break my back.
Yeah, but if you have like that much control with 10 and that much weight, that's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah, we're
I
totally
mean,
getting off topic here. So
oh
wellness,
yeah, bring us
big
back.
big butt, big legs. Conditioning wise, they want to see like the hamstring tie-in, the glute tie-in, separation in your shoulders. The both your in bikini and wellness, you don't see the back, so back doesn't really matter, right? Because you got your hair
Yeah.
covering it. And then next up would be like figure, and that's what I compete in So figure, you're looking for a lot more conditioning, but without major striations. You're looking for that more X frame, bigger shoulders, big lats, big back, big, thick, dense back, and then nothing's overpowered. So it's supposed to be really balanced between the top and the bottom. So like a
Mhm.
really nice, even proportion.
Just like
Can
the lats and the deltoids are like very like the I feel like the highlight of especially your front pose.
Yeah, I think shoulders are a big deal in
Yeah,
figure.
because he creates that broadness on the upper body. And then obviously, like you guys have some crazy development on legs and glutes as well when you turn to the back, and then the lats.
Yeah, for your legs to look big, like completely conditioned, they have to be huge. Like people don't realize that like your
Yeah,
legs lose a lot of size, but like for your legs to look big on stage and be completely conditioned, like your legs have to be giant freaking enormous.
yeah. Like when people see my quads, they're like, "You should do wellness." I'm like, "You have no idea."
Like these are gonna like shrink down.
To little sticks, like even then, like they are a little too big for a bikini, but they're like not even close to wellness. So I feel like there's a misconception that girls are like, oh, I have big thighs. You can have big thighs, but if your lean mass in your thighs is like very like not like majority of your legs, then you
Hmm.
cannot go for wellness. Because once you get conditioned, bad news is like all your leg size is gonna go down to like
Yeah,
not
and like to
wellness
have a
like.
butt, like a butt that still is nice and full.
Yeah.
Like how big your ass has to be to like survive prep is crazy.
Yeah, because you lose muscle. Like there is like a certain percentage of like what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank. It has a name. Atrophy. Okay. No, atrophy is not atrophy. Is it atrophy?
I mean, yeah, atrophy would be like losing density, muscle size.
Yeah, so basically, because of all the cardio, all the extreme dieting, obviously you're in a deficit, so you're bound to lose certain size, depending on how extreme you go. But I remember I lost quite a bit of muscle during my prep too. So
Yeah.
definitely consider those things before you're like, okay, I'm gonna do wellness. You cannot jump into wellness unless you've been like lifting for years, like real lifting.
Yeah. I mean, the transition is possible if you want to move up, but then you have to like tailor your training to it.
Yeah. Because I know some girls like needed to stop even training upper body for like if you
Yeah,
go from figure to wellness, you need to like downsize. It's crazy how much work
yeah,
and
and I
time.
know you like all upper bodies days. If I wanted to transition, would like cut them out, and I would just do legs 3 times a week.
Yeah. And I
I
know
feel
some
like
girls do like 5 times. I'm like, how do you train your lower
I
body
would
five
feel
times?
like I would be wrecked.
I feel like you would just work against me at that point. You're like not instead of progressing. But again, everyone's different because it works for some people. And I'm like, I wish because recovery will not be like within like 12 hours, let's say, or 15 max. No, not happening. So
I just think I feel like I would just be in pain all
yeah,
the time.
like your knees will be shot.
Hmm.
And then what comes
This
after?
physique would be next. So the level of muscularity goes up, conditioning goes up. They're looking for striations. They're looking for your glutes to be striated, your quads to be feathered. And then the only thing that separates that really from women's bodybuilding would be like the muscularity level. I think the conditioning is probably pretty similar,
Yeah, it is. It's just the
right? Like
size.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just size at that point,
Hmm.
and then obviously each division also has their own mandatory poses,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I
But
think it's kind of like I think it's like classic physique and open. It's like the same level of conditioning, but it's just a matter of how much muscle mass like you have.
hmm
Because then if you surpass that body like weight limit that they have, like the weight caps, then you need to move up. So it's technically the same thing for physique and bodybuilding. But I don't see like women's bodybuilding like being as popular anymore because it's not like the such a mainstream look that for females, right? I think it's
yeah,
pretty
I
badass,
think
but
that most of the women that find themselves in the women's bodybuilding category have probably obviously didn't start there. They've moved up
Yeah.
or been told that they should move from physique to women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, because if you see them all, they're like very mature women. So it's like muscle maturity
Mm-hmm.
that comes over the years. Because definitely not someone like young in their 30s. Maybe, yeah, if you are like crazy, that gifted. But it takes time to build that amount of
Yeah.
density in muscle.
It's really amazing. Like my favorite, who's my posing coach, Christina Nicole, who's at Dragon Slayer,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
KJ.
She
She
looks
is
really
so
good.
beautiful too.
Yeah.
Like
Like she
she's
still
my
has like
favorite.
her femininity,
Yeah,
like everything.
she sounds good. She's beautiful. Like I love her.
I feel like if you
Yeah,
do it right, if you have the good genetics to do it, I feel like you don't have to go balls to the wall with things
yeah.
in terms of losing your
She
femininity.
looks great still.
Yeah.
Like, and I can't wait to see her in Chicago.
She's she's got like the biggest legs. Like
Yeah,
her thighs are insane. Like I'm just like
I envy them. I love. She looks so good.
yeah, she walks around like she's like this like she's so peeled right now. And like you can see it in her face. But she still looks good.
Yeah,
So
she's so awesome. I'll be watching her with Justin
yeah.
in Chicago.
Yeah, because he's not doing Chicago, is he?
Yeah,
Oh, is that the
two
one?
weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh fuck.
We're leaving not next week, but the week after. Let's see what on the 18th. Oh, full. Yeah, very soon. So not this coming week, but next week we leave.
That's and like that's basically gonna fly by. And I feel like you guys should like probably get like a mega fit to the to
To
make the
get
process
delivered while we're
easier.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes things so much easier because then you don't
Yeah.
have to
We
grocery
should like
store
schedule it now so that
and then just like make a note there before your this is besides the
mm-hmm.
point. It's probably people don't care about
They're
this.
like, what is all this food?
But just leave a note on the little like details, just like
Yeah, it was really
competing,
hard
leave
to
it at a
find
hotel.
accommodation. Well, like we wanted to get an Airbnb, but there weren't really any good Airbnbs, and they were super expensive. So we just settled for, I think, I don't know if we got. Did we get that? I don't know. He did it all, like a hotel with a kitchenette, or if we're just gonna like hot pan it, rice cooker it. I don't know.
Are you like the kind to bring your rice cooker?
So obviously we're flying, but if we end up in a hotel that doesn't have like a kitchenette, then we'll do yeah, we'll buy a rice cooker, buy a microwave,
Yeah, because he'd be eating
buy
a
a
lot of
hot
food.
plate,
Mm-hmm. And then just return it.
and it just turns into such a shit show. Like your hotel room
Yeah.
when you're bringing all the when you're competing, everyone who knows every competitor, your hotel room turns into fucking World War II.
And
It's a
sometimes you need
disaster.
what are those things called? Those cards?
The what?
Those cards that you get like from the bellboy. Like
Like the trolleys, the
yes.
luggage cart.
Sometimes like with Nick we need two. Because
Yeah, we need to.
he needs a fan. Like
We need a fan.
he cannot
I need a fan. I need a fan to sleep.
he will like not go to sleep without a fan because he cannot. So there's a
I'm the
fan.
same.
There's
I'm
a
the
rice
same way.
cooker.
Like I need the noise and the like breeze.
I
On
can't.
you don't
I mean,
like.
I do. I used to like when I used to live alone. I used to tell Alexa play rain sounds before going to sleep because I do like the white sound, but it just gets cold because the house is already cold.
Being cold. I love being cold.
Yeah,
Like,
but when a
I need
bodybuilder rolls over,
bundle.
he just takes everything with him. Does that not happen to you?
It's just like, so my situation is like we have a king bed and then Justin's on one side, but then I have the Frenchie right next to me, and the Frenchie like is this weight that like cuts off the blanket. So like Justin pulls the blanket and the blanket's leaving, and then the Frenchie like cuts it off, so like I can't pull it back. So I'm just like sometimes I end up with this much fucking blanket.
Yeah.
And it's not even covering me, and I'm like, it's like this on me.
Same. Sometimes I go into my like pillow because I'm too lazy to actually get up,
Yeah.
go get a freaking blanket,
Mm-hmm.
because they're just like tangled because they're so heavy. So they're
It's
just go like,
yeah. And our bed is like we bought it maybe our mattress 2-3 years ago, and it was like, oh, it we'll replace it or give you your money back if it sinks or like, and
mm-hmm.
it's like because of how heavy he is. It's just like the imprint of him on the mattress.
You guys are switch sides, but I can't because I
I
feel like
can't.
they're
I
so
could. I
specific.
don't want to because then I'm sinking in his and he sweats a lot. I was like, girl,
Oh, his pillow smells like all the drool.
like sweat,
Like
like the body, like when they're on a lot of gear and the smell of their sweat.
that is very metallic.
It's not good.
It's very chemically
It's
like.
very like tangy.
Yeah,
Like
it's not cute. Okay, so this is like a pick one.
a would you rather?
No, this is like what's more. It's like actually like what's more important to you, your morning or evening routine, and what does it consist of?
Um, my morning, I think routine is probably because it's gonna set the tone for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and so I get up, take my like health sup, so like my liver, kidney, blah blah blah, take like a GI supplement as well, and then get my coffee, and then I sit on the couch and like read my book for like half an hour, and then I get up and go do cardio, and like that really makes me feel like productive, like
Yeah.
just like a good start, good peaceful start for the day. Like I've done my cardio, I've taken my health steps, and I've spent some time, stimulating my brain with some reading. I try not to look at my phone like for that first 45 minutes of being awake. I just try not to like look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then my nighttime routine is also important, but like I don't think it sets you up. It obviously doesn't set you up for the day. So I think morning routine for most people is probably more
Yeah,
important to like
I
get that.
agree. I agree. And but like I also have I think those non-negotiables at nighttime, which is like just like personal hygiene stuff. But because I can't go to bed without brushing my teeth, I just can't
Oh
unless
yeah,
I'm like
definitely shower,
dead tired.
skincare,
Yeah,
shower, skincare, teeth brush, vitamins taken,
yeah. So
dogs
like
gone out to potty. We have
everything.
to lock our cat up at night because she's an absolute terror. She'll like
She just
scratch at our door to try to get in, or like dig at the carpet to try and like get into our room, or if we leave our door when our door opens, she'll like come like climbing on our headboard and like pouncing down on us. Oh, she's like a nightmare. So we have to lock her up in the garage at night. So that's
she's
part of
like
our
can't
nightly
sleep. You
routine.
can't sleep
Like you
either.
feed the cat, you feed and lock up the cat. Okay, I'll feed and lock up the cat. She doesn't mind it. She like runs in there
Probably
like,
probably right now you're the one doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's not even asking.
No, I don't.
You're like, I'll do it.
I don't.
But yeah, like morning definitely like sets the tone for the day. Um, I feel like it takes me a bit to get out of bed in the mornings, depending on how I slept or um but do you like are you the kind that you wake up and you're like, okay, ready to start the day and you get out of bed right away? I feel like I need to
I'm
stay in
definitely
bed
not
for
a
like
morning
20 minutes.
person. I'm definitely not a morning person, but I do just get up. Like I loathe getting up early. Absolutely hate it, but I don't linger in bed. Like I just get up.
Yeah, see, I linger for like at least 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
Justin's
Nick
like
comes in
that
the
too.
bedroom. He's like, "You still in bed?" I'm like, "Let me live." It takes me a
Justin is like
bit.
that too. It's like 40, like 40, not 40. That's over exaggeration, but yeah, like 20 minutes will go by and he's still like in there. I
Yeah,
just get
because
up.
you gotta stretch. You gotta feel it. You're like, well, what am I feeling
I
today?
think he's just like playing on his phone, but yeah.
Yeah, I honestly am getting out of that habit, and I just put my phone like on the window ledge thing, so I don't immediately get up in the morning and like reach for it on my nightstand. Because I know Nick sleeps with it on like the side of the bed because we have that bed with like those sidelines. And then I'm like, stop! Like that's the first thing. He's just like, one eye open, one eye closed.
I know. And like, I don't know, it's just such a bad habit that we're ingrained into us at this point of like, immediately reaching for the phone and like checking
And
your
it's like,
notifications
yeah, your brain is like already like stimulated right from the get go with like all these thoughts
with
and things.
yeah, with like anxieties.
Yeah. What's like one
Like
thing that really like you cannot, when you go away, that you miss? Like, I guess I would be my dog, but I don't know, probably you in the mornings. Like one thing that when you go away, you feel unsettled because in the morning you don't have it.
like if we're traveling or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the animals because they're like your babies, your kids. Um
Yeah.
and then just I mean, yeah, I think really that's it. Because I bring most everything else that I need with me. Maybe like my bed, my bed in my room and like my safe space. You can't bring that with
Yeah.
you, but like not having your animals feels so empty
Yeah,
sometimes.
you
You're
feel
like
incomplete. You're just
because it's,
like,
it's such a part of your routine. Feed them, let them out to go potty, take them on a walk, cuddle with them. It's like my whole day revolves around like the Frenchie being on top of me, so that when he's
yeah.
not there, it's like
Yeah, something's missing.
quiet. Like
And I feel the same with Tora because then I get the attitude in the morning is like, are you going to walk me? Are you going to feed me? She's very intense when it comes to that stuff. Um, Another one. What kind of music do you listen to when you work out?
I'm pretty all over the place. Like genre wise, I go from like pop to like classical to like punk to rap to like new age. Like it's literally across the board, like the spectrum.
Do you
I'm
always have
pretty
like
like
a playlist, like going from song to song? Because
yeah.
I don't know if I'm psycho, but I listen to the same song over and over
I've
and
heard of
over.
some people who do that. Um, I will like I don't need a specific like a. Sometimes I have moods where I'm like looking for a certain type of genre or music, but like
Yeah.
my playlist kind of just like is bipolar, it goes all over the place.
It's like, hey, whatever you're feeling for. But I feel like,
I'm just not cliche, but I'm not really a country fan. I will listen to like some older country, like
I can't listen to
Johnny
country.
Cash or like Willie Nelson or that kind of thing, but um, not really
No,
into like new country.
I don't like country. I like
Sorry, sorry, yeah. I like some R and B, but like R&B is kind of hard to listen to when you're
hmm
working out because it's just like, it doesn't really get you in.
No, I feel like it's too chill. But like if I
Sometimes I
find
listen
a
to like
song that's like very like motivational, it gets my dopamine and adrenaline running. That's why I have it like going because every time either like the beat drops or like the lyrics that really get to my heart like really hit me. I'm like I'm gonna play that entire session so I can just go as hard every single time
yeah.
that beat drops or something.
Like you have this one song that takes you to the place that you want to
Yeah.
go.
So
Yeah.
you're just in the zone. But if you ask
My
me for a
song,
playlist, I'm like,
yeah.
don't come to me for that because I don't have a playlist.
My last workout, that song for me was like Tupac, Hit 'Em Up. I don't know why but that one was like the one that I played like 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
So
Like in
it
one
was,
session?
yeah,
Yeah. So that one really hit you for sure.
that one yeah, it
That
hit
one
me
hit
up.
you right. Oh God. Okay. What are some of the outlets that you usually like source to when you're competing or when you're feeling down and question if
Some
you
of the
should
what?
compete or not? Basic some of the outlets, some things that
Oh,
you
the
do,
outlets.
yeah, to basically keep focus during prep or like to distract yourself because again you cannot go out to eat. So how do you still feel normal and human? How you humanize yourself and feel
Going out
normal?
to coffee shops is like is
Yeah, that's a
something
thing to
that I
do.
would do a lot. Yeah, I would like if I needed to do a little bit of 'cause I was still in school in my last prep and I would like go do homework at coffee shops. And that made me feel like I was doing something like being a human, like ordering coffee, sitting out in public, taking my dogs for walks, going out like to parks and stuff, shopping, was
Yeah,
a great
shopping.
outlet. Um, painting, reading. playing video games, hanging out with your friends. You can still do like
A lot.
a lot
I
if
mean,
you
a
have the
lot.
energy. If you have the energy for it, try and maintain as much of your social life as possible, because it will you will feel lonely at some point during prep, just because you are choosing to self isolate, because you feel like you can't do these things, can't go out to eat, but you can still go hang out with your friends, your family. Just bring your food with you, or get a Diet Coke or something.
Yeah, because I think most people have, because there's so many places where like food can be so fun and new things to try, and it's a thing to do. It's like, oh, let's go eat here. It's like
Yeah.
the thing to do, and you feel like once that's gone, the fun is gone. But I think we have focused so much attention towards food rather than the actual moments that we're sharing with people while eating that food. So I think our attention has gone to the wrong place. And it's like, if you don't have the food, then you cannot have a good time with the people you're with. And I think that's the area where most people either need to like snap out of, or realize that it's not about the food, it's about what you make of the moment with the people you're with.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think, like it's kind of ingrained in us, because historically, culturally, food is a big part of traditions, culture, that kind of thing. So I think that it's ingrained in us to associate like quality time with
mm-hmm,
people with food. So they feel like when they don't participate in the food aspect, that you're not
having fun.
you're not spending that quality time. But you almost have to just kind of disassociate, or like I said, bring your own food, or if you need to like participate, get a Diet Coke or something, because those moments aren't gonna be there forever. Like, don't miss out on quality time with your friends and your family, even when you're in prep, just because they are not gonna be there forever. And prep is a temporary thing that you can physically still go out and spend time with them.
Yeah,
So
it's a choice you
do
made,
it.
and you can just work around it, I think. And that was hard for me to also find that balance. Trying to move my laptop because the light is going away. But I think that's the hardest part for I experienced it myself. I thought I had that mentality that because I couldn't go out to eat, I couldn't do anything. But it was like that's not it. Because I
Yeah.
prepped during Christmas, I prepped during like
That's
Thanksgiving.
so hard. It's prepping during holidays. Like this
Yeah.
year, I'll be prepping through Thanksgiving, which like Thanksgiving is not crazy to like crucial to me, because I didn't grow up with Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm. It's most
so it's
like
not.
Christmas. When you
No,
prep
it's
during
not this. It doesn't
Christmas,
mean. I mean, it has come to mean something to me, but it doesn't mean a whole lot. I don't particularly love Thanksgiving food,
mm-hmm.
but it is really hard to prep through
Yeah.
holidays like that. Like, you know, um, Halloween is like a. I love Halloween, and I want to eat some candy, but
What's your favorite candy? If you say candy corn, I'd be like, get
no,
out of here.
I really like Nerds gummies. Rope the little chewies, the clusters. I think they're called Nerds clusters. Oh, those are my favorite. And then I'm a big chocolate girl. I love chocolate, like with like caramel Rolos, or like caramellos, or like Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh God,
Have you
I
tried
love
turtles? Do you guys have those here? Turtles? Yeah.
no. What are they?
These can't be a Canadian thing.
I also really like uh Mexican candy that's like fruity with like the tahine powder or something on it.
Of course you would. Mango or watermelon with tahini is the best.
Yes, so
This one.
good. No, I've never even seen that before.
What? Don't
What
tell me
is
this is a
that?
Canadian thing. It's
Is it
not.
does it have nuts in it? I don't really like nuts.
Yeah, it's pecans.
I don't
Pecans.
really like I'm not a nut I'm not a fan of nuts.
You're nuts.
I like peanut butter, but I don't like
Yeah, they're like
I hate
caramel
it when
chocolate
brownies
pecan.
have peanuts in them. I'm like, ugh.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of peanuts. I like pecans though. Or pecans. How do you say it? Pecans?
Pecan.
Pecans. I would say pecans. Don't come for
Pecan
me. How do you
pie.
say it? But I'm a big dark chocolate girl.
I'm milk chocolate all the way.
Yeah.
Some people like that. My
Yeah. Do you
husband's
like white
sister really likes
chocolate?
dark chocolate, but it's like bitter.
Well,
I want
I don't like the 80-90 that's pushing it. I like the
that's
70. I
crazy.
will like 70% is the
Some like dark chocolate sea salt with some caramel. I can get down with that.
Himalayan pink salt.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, um, I don't really like candy. Is that weird?
Um, no, that's probably good. I have a major sweet tooth. I
Yeah,
haven't
no.
really so much since like in my off season being full all the time. I haven't really had the desires, but like, oh, I love
Oh, they'll come.
chocolates, cake,
Don't
ice
worry, they'll
cream,
come real
cookies,
fast.
candy.
Give me
I'm
all this
already like,
sugar. Give me all the sugar. For me, just
I had Five Guys for the first time last week. It was so good. I got like a triple patty bacon cheeseburger with like, and the French fry. I never had
a
Five
girl
Guys, so
can
the French
eat.
fries come in like a cup, and then they like fill the bag with them. Oh my god,
Don't
the
ever
fries
get
are
a large. That's what I did. I always do that. And
no,
I'm like,
I
I'm never
didn't.
going to do that because the
No, because they
large
literally fill the
becomes an
bag
extra
with
large.
fries.
And guess what? I always finish it. So I'm like,
You eat all the fries.
yeah.
I
If
got
you
the.
leave
I didn't mean
fries,
to. I got the
it's
triple
such a sin.
burger.
It's a sin if you waste fries. Just
I
no.
think I ate most of them, but there was a lot. There was a lot of fries.
I don't know. If I see fries, they don't stand a chance. Like I'm not
They
letting the fries.
they're gone. You're putting all of them
I would
down.
just get like the double patty though, but triple patty. Like, have
I
you
didn't
tried their
mean
hot
to. I
dogs?
didn't even mean to get the triple patties. I ordered it online, and
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
how.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
You're
I
like,
ate it all. It was delicious, cheesy, bacon,
I don't know if you've
pickles,
seen
onions.
this TikTok. I don't know if it's a TikTok, but I saw it on Instagram. It's this girl that she apparently ordered a veggie sandwich, and it is like a whole like fried chicken sandwich or something like that. She's like, oh, this is not a veggie sandwich, and then she still
She
eats
ate it
it. She's like,
anyway.
but I guess I'll eat it. It was like with bacon. And I'm like, yeah, right. She's
Guess
like,
you're
I
not a
asked for an
vegetarian
apple, and it was
anymore.
like fries or something like that. Sounds like that. You're like, I didn't want 3 patties, but I got it. Okay,
It was delicious.
it was
That was after I
delicious.
did that. I did like a 10-mile hike up this mountain that's in Northern California called Mount Eddy.
Oh yeah, how long was
My
that?
friends like were like, "Oh, let's go on a hike on Sunday," and they sent me the trail on all trails, and I didn't look at it. I don't know why. I usually am kind of an investigator, and I look prepared, but I didn't. I was just like, "Okay, let's go," and it was
Just
like
trust your friends.
5 miles uphill of like a 9,000 feet elevation gain. I was dying. I was dying. I'm so out of shape right now, and like fat. So I was fucking dying. And then, but it was incredible. The views were amazing. You could
How
see
long
like
did it take you?
360. The entire hike was like 5.5 hours, I think. And then when we got down to the bottom, we jumped in like this. There's a lot of
Was it
alpine
hot?
lakes. It was hot, but there was a
Because
lot
I
of
feel like
alpine lakes like at the bottom, and so we jumped in the lake. It was so cold. It was like I gotta say the
well,
water was
that
probably
probably
like
felt so
45,
good.
50 degrees. It was freezing.
That
But
probably felt so good after like being
oh,
hot.
it was amazing. It was so gorgeous, and it felt so good to like get out there and do something. But yeah, I got the burger after that because I was like, I need it.
You're like, I need to replenish everything I just burned.
Because I was straight out of breath. Like my heart rate was probably like 150 for like 5 hours straight.
That's a good cardio. You
Yeah,
should do
it
that
was
every
good.
day.
Yeah, okay, come with me then.
You get lean real fast,
Yeah, I'll
probably.
probably lose all my muscle.
And then you'll just end up climbing the Everest at some point because you're that
Oh my
conditioned.
gosh, speaking of Tom Hardy, he posted something on Instagram.
You really have a crush on him.
I really like him. But it's about this guy named Hari Buddha Magar. He is a mountaineer, and he has no legs. I think he's like an amputee from, it looks like below the knee, but in June 27th, he climbed Mount Everest with no legs.
That's
Isn't that crazy?
That's
Tom Hardy posted him. That's how I found him. But
that's impressive.
so you can still climb Mount Everest even if you don't have legs.
Hey,
So
this
no
is this is
excuses,
the thing.
people.
Like, I feel like you can do whatever you want. Even model nowadays. If you're even as a shorty, like or like plus size, I
Yeah.
feel like you can do anything. Like, I think we just set our own obstacles, and then there's people out there like that are amputees. We're like fully like equipped to do whatever, and we just find excuses. Then those
Yeah.
who really don't could actually use it as an excuse. They don't, and it makes you question. Like,
Well, some of the athletes in like the I think it's what's called the Paralympics
mm-hmm.
are incredible. Like there's some like track athletes that are would whoop my ass, 5 times over in a race who
Yeah,
don't have legs.
but it's because it's like I feel like they're so resilient because of I feel like that's such a big hit to them. Imagine I can't imagine going through something like that, depending on like how traumatic that whatever happened to them was, whether it was born with it or you had an accident. I feel like those things just make you look alive so different that you just feel almost invincible because you went through something so rough like that, you know?
Yeah, you know that you've seen your darkest times already
Mm-hmm.
and you've survived it. So anything that comes at you in your future is, going to be
Yeah.
surmountable compared to.
Well, like I have my cousin actually got electrocuted when he was 8, on Mother's Day, because my aunt was building the third floor of her house, and he was playing with a friend. Um, and then I guess because in Ecuador, third world countries, like they're like the cables for like all the lights and electricity is like exposed. It's not like underground like these countries like Canada,
Hmm.
US. So they're like out there. So I guess it was a curtain rod or something like that, something metallic. And then the
And he like
little
touched it.
kid grabbed the thing and touched the thing.
Oh
So
my
it was like
god.
such high voltage that he obviously started to get electrocuted. And then my cousin went to save him. So my cousin kind of like grabbed him around the waist, grabbed him,
And he get
tried to,
electrocuted too?
he got electrocuted. Unfortunately, his friend was like completely like fried, like black
Dead. He
carbonated.
died.
He died. Then my cousin had such bad burns because they were both not wearing shoes, so the electricity went right
Oh, the
through
current,
them.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and then he lost like so much. Like they did so much to this arm because he had this one amputated, like below the elbow, because he was like directly touching the rod basically. So he got a lot of voltage on this one, so they couldn't save it. And then this one was like completely mangled because he was hugging his friend. So
Oh,
there was a lot of things going here. So he ended up losing half his leg below his knee at 8 years old. Like this was rough. And then his toes on his other leg completely had to cut them off, and then this leg he had to this arm he had to go through so many hurdles because they were like almost gonna amputate it, but then he was gonna be left with like no hands. So they
how's he
took
doing now?
he is like obviously a grown adult now, and he does CrossFit. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah. So it's crazy because I can't even pull up his things because I think he deleted Instagram. But he used to like he had this like obviously prosthetic leg, and because he was below the knee you could still find some sort of like mobility to run and do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he got into Spartan races and like all these like,
That's amazing. That's
yeah,
incredible.
and then he will find ways to like snatch or do all these things that
Yeah.
you guys do in CrossFit. So he would just have like a little hook here, and then this hand was also like working hand. So he would just like find ways, like pull up, same thing. He would just hold on to
Yeah.
bands and then do pull ups. So it's such an inspiring story that it's like it's literally for the example of resiliency, strength, and then knowing that even though you're like not fully like equipped how you were born, you can find ways around it. So yeah,
Yeah, I
that
can't.
was
Your
rough.
cousin, what was 8 years old when that happened?
Mm-hmm.
I can't, like, as a child, like, trying to save your friend, like, that's also pretty incredible that he
Yeah.
was not afraid and like trying to save
No.
his friend. Like that's incredible. Like he already had a lot of gumption in him, resiliency
I know that
to
was like
even
a
do
crazy
that.
thing
Like
for the
most
family.
people are like frozen in fear or like that, that response that when you see like traumatic or scary things happen, like there's like that fight or flight response. And
You freeze.
yeah.
Like almost you like start to question. But I feel like I don't know. But like nowadays I feel like people the first thing they do is pull out their phone for some
To film
reason.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that really pisses me off. When I see all these fights and stuff on Instagram, I'm
And
like,
or like just like bad things happening to like people or animals, and this person is just filming
yeah,
and
like
not
what's your
doing
first
anything.
instinct? I'm not saying go risk your life and get involved, but maybe freaking call the cops or something other than take it out to film. It's just like a crazy time to live in, I think. It's just very, very, where are the priorities? But that's a topic for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just been talking about, well, we were going to talk about um, like if you guys didn't know, we don't really rehearse these podcasts, usually episodes, but we usually have like a little topic that we would maybe want to touch on or something like that. We were actually going to say, like, talk about how we feel about transgenders in like women's sports. Obviously, this is a very controversial topic, and some people may agree, some may not. But like, we all have our opinions.
Yeah.
But
So
personally,
obviously it's are there any transgenders that you know of that compete in bodybuilding?
no,
So it's not really something then I guess that we would deal with like in our sport. I
no.
don't think, but um in powerlifting or Olympic sports, like there was that swimmer who um I think that a lot of the controversy came about. Who is that? What was the swimmer's name? But anyway, so yeah, my feelings on it is that I do not feel like transgendered men, women, whatever, should be allowed to compete in women's sports, even if, like they do all the blood tests, hormone tests, and their testosterone level is below the accepted limit and they've been on hormone replacement therapy for such and such amount of time. It's just they're, if you were born as male and you went through puberty at all, like you are physiologically different
Mhm.
and you have a biological advantage even if you have been on those hormones replacements, yada yada. Like you still have the bone structure of a male, and that is still is going to put you at a physical advantage in comparison to a female. So these, I need to look up that swimmer's name, but like they've been working years and years and years, their whole life, and it means everything to them, and they get into this sport and they do a race against a biological male who is transitioned, whatever, and then they lose and he wins everything. It's like, how
Mhm.
is that like? How does that campaigning for women's rights or equal rights when it's like you're taking away the chance for a female athlete to be successful because you have a biological physical advantage? It's
Yeah,
not fair.
I
And
agree. I
in
agree because
powerlifting too, like there was a powerlifter who's like, in the USPA, whatever, the powerlifting is not as regulated as like an Olympic sport or like swimming, but you could just have someone say, "Oh, I identify as a female and compete in the women's division," and then obviously, they're genetically like going to be stronger, or so there goes like any chance of winning
yeah,
that.
female, yeah.
Yeah.
They are built different, like you said. Like it's just in their genetic material to just be a male. Like they're completely hormonally, even like you said, if they've been on hormone treatment therapies to like level your hormones at a certain way to make you either more of a female, more of a male. I think you're still genetically just still built as a male. So
So Leah
structurally,
Thompson, that's the, sorry to interrupt you. Leah Thompson is the swimmer that I was talking about.
how old? How old?
So like Leah Thompson did compete in the males swim team from 2017 to 2020. So identified as a male all those years, and then switched to the women's team from 2021 to 2022. So, and then became openly transgender in 2022 in the NCAA female division. So he, whatever, won the women's 500-yard freestyle event, but in the males team, I think came in like last. So that just goes to show, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way
It
that
would
that
have
should
been
be allowed.
different if this person was like not previously in the male team, you know what I mean? It would have been a little bit, I think it's still not justifiable. I think it's not like right to even allow this and to make it like an acceptable thing. Because again, as females, and like, I think we need to keep our own category. Like, there shouldn't,
It's
I'm
just
very
not
open.
fair.
No,
There's no way that, they're physiologically, biologically, different.
is
They
it
have an
like,
advantage.
let's just picture someone like an open bodybuilder or just identifies as trans. Then they go into like women's bodybuilding. They're obviously going to outdo the girls because
Yeah.
they like
But luckily, like,
hormonally
our
you're
sport
just,
is subjective, so, like,
yeah,
they'll be
it's not
like,
gonna be like,
they're
it's not gonna
probably
be
gonna be
like,
like, you don't look
yeah.
very feminine. But like in a sport where it's like you either win the
Like, it's
race,
skill
lift the
based.
weight,
Yeah.
where it's completely like dependent on your performance,
Hmm.
is different. Like in a subjective sport, obviously they'll probably be like bullied out of it.
Yeah.
But in a non-objective sport where like you're either first or you're last because you physically crossed the finish line first or you didn't, it's like that's when it is unfair. Like I think I
Yeah,
don't
I
know how you would
agree.
solve that. Like, maybe is there a division just for trans athletes? I don't know, because they can't
I
really compete in either. They can't compete in the males
and then they
or
can
in the
compare the
females.
females.
And if they
So,
want to compete, do we just have like a trans
and that's where I
category?
feel them too, because then they're gonna feel left out. But there's also like that moment where you're like, well, the entire history of society and like how you come up and like you're raised either as a male or female, but then now there is room for more. Like, now you identify as they, like him,
Yeah,
her.
that's another interesting.
Like,
Justin was telling me that there was he watched on a Joe Rogan podcast, cliche, whatever. But there was like a doctor who was saying that like some of the pesticides that have been used, that is in our groundwater and our drinking water, has like they did an experiment where I think they exposed like a group of male frogs to this certain pesticide, and then these male frogs like transition, like became females from being exposed to this pesticide that is like
high
in all
sugar.
of our drinking water, in our groundwater, in our environment, in our food. So like there's something out there, and that's why I think there's
More and more.
could be a prevalent, I feel like we're seeing more of more LGBTQ people out there because there's something happening in our
Water.
food or something. And then there's like another study that's like when you're young, when you're going through puberty or you're young and you're not exposed to hardships, like especially as a male, like you're not exposed to anything hard in your life, is that your body does not like um what's the word I'm looking for? It's like if you're not exposed to any hardships, like
You don't toughen up.
you don't toughen up or like get that required testosterone or that
The male,
biological
like,
like
yeah, like that.
development to like endure those hardships. So like men who used to go to war or get drafted into war when they're 16, 17, and went through World War I, World War II, whatever, or like had any sort of hardships, whether maybe in a third world country where you're having to like farm and fend for your family, and who will biologically like have more testosterone to endure those hardships, where like now it's case everybody's sitting at home on their phone or whatever, they're not going through those hardships, so they're not biologically
Yeah,
developing or
that
needing,
release.
we don't need that testosterone or those men anymore, so we're not developing it.
Yeah, there's no danger, so there's no reason why your body is like naturally like conditioning itself to grow into that, the stage of
Yeah, we don't
manliness.
need tough men anymore, so there aren't any.
Shout
So
out to our man.
expose your kids to some sort of hardships. If I mean it's I don't know, whatever. People will be who they will be, but
I just think it's such a sensitive generation where everyone has to be babied. Like everyone is like, you cannot eat soil because you're gonna fucking die. Like, I used to eat soil. Everything is like so like
dude,
bubble
I
wrapped.
ate dirt and bugs as a kid for sure.
Yeah,
I was in yeah, I was you used to not need to like wear growing up in Africa, no one really wore like shoes into the grocery stores. So I remember like not wearing shoes in the grocery store, just like being this dirty little
yeah.
kid
You
out.
just become one more like with nature. It's like you're exposed to a lot more. And even like as someone who grew up in a third world country, it's like that shit doesn't matter. Like their public health is like probably so bad. There is like contamination everywhere. I'm making my country sound like shit, but it's not. But in general, public health is not the same as like first world countries like this one. But I just think it just exposes you to real life scenarios where you actually develop more of a character rather than just like babying you and just putting you in this bubble wrap that you
Yeah.
cannot be like out there because you may die. And it's like, I think it's
I
created
think you
such a
build a
weak,
better immune system for one,
yeah,
probably being exposed to some of that stuff. Like I feel like my immune system is pretty like damn good because I'm a cleanly person, like well, like hygiene matters, but I'm not like a super germaphobe where I feel like everyone these days is like a major germaphobe or
yeah,
like organic this, organic that, like
no.
but
Like to a certain degree, some things, yes, but like the food here is just so different too from like where it is back home. So I don't know. It's just like, yeah, it's just a weird generation where everything just. And have you noticed? I don't know if you've noticed, but like I've noticed a trend with like, and I'm not saying this is like everyone. It's just me noticing these things. You know how like now the lifestyle of people is so like sedentary and it's so like go to work, go home, eat like shit, and then you gain weight. And like obviously, the leaner you are as a male, the higher your the higher the testosterone levels are. So obviously that plays a role. When you see a man with like almost like boobs, you know what I mean? Because their body fat percentage is so high, then your testosterone levels are going to be like super low.
yeah.
And then add the environmental things like the water, the food that is actually adding more estrogen to your body. I feel like that's just hormonally going to make you like think that you are now a female, and then you'll like question your gender. But then this is me just talking without like a backup scientific situation. This is
Yeah, I
just
don't have
me.
like all the facts, but for sure I think like you can just look around and you obviously see it. You can see the evidence that how many people have come out as like gay or transgender. I don't know if that's because like it's trendy or if it's like more accepted. That's why we're seeing it more, or if there's just an actual like physiological change in the development of people these
Yeah.
days.
In the case of like lesbians, what will be the explanation for lesbians? Because we already estrogen like driven.
Because the men are too pussy.
So we just go for like another woman will understand me.
Yeah, we're like,
Males are just
you know
not
what?
it.
I'm not gonna bother with this bullshit. You might as well just have a best friend who.
Yeah. I think it's like a pretty like interesting area of like just studying like physiologically like a human being and also behaviorally like what drives like the population now, especially or maybe because it was happening before, but because now there is social media, now there is all these movements to like freedom of being who you are and embracing who you are, that we see it more than we did back then. I don't know, but
Yeah, I
definitely
think
there's
well,
a lot of
obviously
things.
it's more accepted
Mm-hmm.
these days, so that could be why you just see it more.
Because
Or
before, wasn't it like if you did not stick to things like you were like a sinner and then you will get
yeah,
executed if you like males, like you will be an anomaly, so
yeah,
I don't think.
it's not like that.
No,
But
the fear will make people probably never even think of it.
I've
So
watched a few YouTube videos of people stories about detransitioning. Like, so they transitioned either male, female, and now are detransitioning. And some of them are saying like
I've never
that
heard of
they
that.
felt like that they were being fed this type of like thinking by the media, by their peers, by whatever, to like, oh, I guess maybe these feelings that I'm feeling, maybe I am trans because it's being fed it by all these outlets, and that they weren't actually trans, but they just were led to believe by peer pressure, whatever the trends that they were, and they transitioned, and then now they're in the process of detransitioning
And
back.
I also feel like it's like a behavior of curiosity and exploring, because you see it and you're like, well, what if I try it? Because you're
Yeah.
like,
Because you're
well,
not satisfied with your
hmm,
life. I think so many people are
yeah, and then they just
unsatisfied with their current life that they're like searching for
for
something.
fulfillment,
Yeah.
some sort of fulfillment, and then they just think maybe that's the route. I don't know. There's so many things, so many scenarios, that so many cases that are different. But I think it's also crazy that some people can actually be like completely influenced and then make to believe something, to actually question their behaviors and actions, and then take them to completely change who they are
Yeah.
because of the
Well, it's because
influx
they're
of,
probably so unhappy. I mean, I know there's so many people who suffer from depression and
well, social
unfulfillment and being
media is like
unsatisfied just because the world is so weird
superficial.
these days that like I think you feel like you don't have a purpose. Like it's so easy to feel like you're not doing
Less,
anything purposeful with your life,
yeah,
that
it's
you're
like
looking for
everyone's
things.
just posting highlights. That's the thing. It's like so many highlights, and you just question. You're like, why am I? Is my life not full of those highlights? Like going on vacation, or like having this big ass house, or like having this much money in your bank account because you're like a businesswoman. You're like, what am I doing wrong? You
I
know?
know, and like a lot of it is not real, and you just have to. It's so
Yeah.
hard to like to remind
So
yourself that, because how
yeah.
do you know? Like you're just watching and you're like, oh, you can't just automatically assume that that's fake. Like I'm not thinking that when I'm seeing these things, like, oh, that's fake.
No.
It's like, so, but you do have to
You just
remind
have to
yourself.
remember that it's literally just like them having a moment of like a fun, posting it, sharing it with you, but it doesn't mean that it's like either fake or everything that they actually experience. But it's just what you choose to believe, and I guess to intake, and then let it influence you, right? So I don't know why I became so suddenly so pale.
I had
What?
to set up my camera. My one that I used last time broke, so now I have to use my stupid laptop camera. But I set up like a ring light because
Oh yeah,
I,
Justin was
I
talking
looked like a
shit.
I looked like a ghost and all the other podcasts. It was like so overexposed because I have like a white desk, so the window was
It
like bouncing off of.
reflects. Yeah.
And I was like,
Like
"Wing."
Justin was like I'm telling Jasmine in one of the podcasts with Guy and Nick.
Uh
He
huh.
was like, I think Jasmine fucked up my setup with my mic because like it was
Remember, I
twisted,
was I was
and I
like
think it
fucking
was.
with it. Because
She's like,
you
I don't
guys,
know
I
what
was
she
with
did.
you and Brett. You're like, you couldn't hear me. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was trying to I did, I
Well, now
fucked
I
with
can
it.
hear you. It must have been something, but
Well, it's on the settings that he's on, so he
oh
fixed it. He fixed it.
yeah, because he's like, yeah, she did something to it, but yeah, it's interesting world we live in, to say the least. And then obviously we're just trying, like, okay, let me
We're
ask
just
you a
trying to live
question.
in it.
Let me
We're
ask
just
you a
trying to
question.
live in it.
Do you want kids?
No. Do
Why?
you? I think because of the type of person I am. I mean, I'm not gonna say no, absolutely not, never. Again, to refer back to what I said previously, and never say never. But I just don't think so, because I feel like the world is too fucked up. I don't feel like I'm motherly at all. I don't really have a desire to, like, I have zero desire to have kids. I just think that if you don't want them, you shouldn't have them, because
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. It's your life is completely changed it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of you have a huge responsibility of raising a decent human being, and I just don't want that right now.
Yeah. And I know like everyone changes, and like I know I didn't want to before because the world is a weird place, and I'm like, why am I bringing people to this world? Like it just keeps getting worse, or the more I see, the less I like it. But I also like heard this like if I don't have the kids to really bring like some character into this world, then this world is really going to shit. Because then the kids that you may have, maybe they change for this world that's going to shit. So
Yeah,
so
that's true. You could bring some good people into
yeah.
this world, but
So but then again, I'm like, I'll be scared to
the
send my kids to school
the
because
puke and the pee and the poop and the crying and the I can't
yeah, I
do
was telling Nick, I'm like, it's not like it's a puppy that you can put it away in a crate and just like,
lock it up and
yeah,
like
you'll end
think
up in
about
jail.
what you did.
Yeah, you can't do that. So it's definitely devoting your life to a whole new human being that is with you for the rest of your life, basically.
Yeah. And I
Um,
feel like I'm quite selfish with my time and my priorities that like if I have to give up an hour, an inch of my current priorities, it would be really hard for me.
yeah,
And I don't I'm not yet in a place where I'm willing to do that, so think it would be I don't think it would be a responsible decision for
it'll
me
be
to
selfish of you to
yeah.
bring, yeah, because I think it's most parents. I don't want to say most because I think it's just too generalized. I just think people forget that I think they fall into the whole thing like you should have kids at this age, you should be a professional at this age, you should have a marriage or have a house, and I feel like so many people fall into that transition of let's get the check like they just let's just check all the boxes that I'm supposed to at this age, but then you forget, are you really being selfish and bringing a kid into his life when you're not fully? I don't think you're ever going to be fully ready, but I just think
No.
there has to be a little more of a like thought process to having a kid. But then again, I don't know. Everyone has a different way to think about things. But
Yeah. I
and
mean,
I don't
accidents
know.
happen, like some kids can be an accident sometimes
Yeah.
and
Do you
or you
like
can plan for them, but it just
it is
currently
it
no
is like totally like
no thank you.
no thank you. But like do you take the pill?
I have a copper IUD and
Okay.
I've had it for a really long time. I need to probably go get it changed out, but
Do you like
I
it?
am so scared of the freaking pain that is involved with removal and placement of an IUD. I would rather they just put me out. It's the most excruciating, uncomfortable shit that I've ever experienced. I do like it. I love it. The copper IUD is great. Like I know it doesn't work for everybody, but it's like a 99.9% success rate. It's
Yeah.
non-hormonal.
Yeah, because it's just a
It's I
spermicide.
I don't have any issues with it. But it's just as probably most women with an IUD know, it's so painful getting it in and out. Why
I've
don't they just
never
put you under? It's
because
awful.
putting you under is like when I went under for my boobs, it was
Give me
horrible.
something. Give me a something.
Numb it somehow.
Do
Spray
something.
numbing
Give me an
thing.
epidural or something. I don't know. It's
You're
so
so
pain.
dramatic.
It's it's so painful. Okay, comment down below if you've had an IUD and how painful it was.
See, I've never see that. Some people may call me like irresponsible or something, but I'm like no pill, no nothing. Okay, I just go with
No.
calendar, and
Oh,
it's
you're
always been like knock on wood, like the safe way to go because I am so like regular that it works. Like for example, today I'm like, okay, I'm ovulating for
do you
these many
use a
days.
an app or something
Yeah,
or
I use the Flow app.
oh okay.
So it's literally FLO. You pay $9.99 a month. I hate that they charge you for this shit. You're like, thanks. Um, and then
What more do they want from us?
yeah, so basically you record your periods. Where is this thing? Okay, so it
Okay.
tells me ovulation in 4 days. So, And then it tells you right here, um, high chances of getting pregnant, and then blah 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 blah, or like your symptoms you may be experiencing at that phase of your cycle. And then you also mark your like your bleeds, obviously. So
Okay.
this is like
So it
me
tells
just
you when like you have a safe window to
yeah. But
have
again,
sex.
like I'm always like he's always like very careful too because we're taking no chances because even though it's like a safe window, it's just like you don't want to take the risk, right?
Do a pull out
Yeah.
method.
So it's I'm like you gotta become a pro at it because he wasn't used to that, right? All the girls like he was like on the pill or something like that. But I'm like I'm not going on the pill. Like I just
No,
refuse
no,
to go on the pill.
no.
Just don't
I
want to go through that.
I was on it for when I was from like 14, 15 to like 20.
How was it coming off of it?
I think I experienced like because I went straight from the pill to the copper IUD, so like some of the experience symptoms I was experiencing were more from like the implantation of the IUD, which is like was like a lot of cramping and like irregular spotting for the first few months. But I remember like losing a bunch of weight and getting like stronger and harder because I think like the hormone replacements that you're getting from your pills can
Make you
inhibit
gain, yeah.
muscle growth and cause you to like hold on to more water. So
Mm-hmm.
I do remember losing a bit of weight and then suddenly like being able to have an easier time gaining muscle.
Yes, so some girls jump right into the effects that it was causing them. Like they go back to either like losing weight or disappearance of like acne or whatever they're experiencing. But some girls do the opposite. They're like either shoot up in weight, get all these
Yeah.
acne issues, inflammation everywhere, just because their body's like, where the fuck is it? Like now we're freaking out. We don't know how to deal with
Well,
it.
yeah, yeah. You went from like receiving, you know, a whatever hormone, like a synthetic hormone. That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for. To like now your body has to produce these things on its own. It's like, oh,
Yeah. So it's just completely like out of whack. So you can either go either way. But that's a chance I never wanted to take. So especially with bodybuilding, I just think I don't know, my hormones are like sometimes like
yeah,
this. And then I feel like on the pill it would just I don't know, coming off of it and then already being like bodybuilding and doing competitions. I feel like I don't want to go through that. I've seen like some clients like come off of it, they go through different transitions in weight and like everything. And even like mental health, it does affect you quite a bit. So yeah, I'm not encouraging the pull out game guys here because you have to be again, you have to be very, very regular and in tune with your body. Even though I compete and like I do lose my period for about whatever amount of time I'm competing, like I'm prepping and my body fat percentage is like way below like the normal is like 21% ideal for females to keep a like a very healthy hormonal level. Obviously I lose my period. Some girls don't lose them. Like I know some girls
hmm
have their period on freaking show day, which is
yeah. And then
horrible.
some girls even lose their period like off season from some of
Yeah,
the
I get it like usually 6 to 8 8 weeks post show. But last time it was very irregular. It's like every 2 weeks. But they also said that the
Mhm.
vaccine has something to do with irregularities with women and their menstrual cycles. And I got the vaccine, so that was I'm like, well, I don't know if that's prep or that's my hormones or that's the vaccine like side effect. But again, it's just like all these things that you put in your body that I'm just like. But I have read about the copper IUD because it's a spermicide. It literally
yeah,
just kills off
yeah,
the
yeah,
little guys.
non-hormonal. There have been some incidents, I think, where girls have been like allergic to the copper
Yeah,
and have
either or
had bad reactions.
infections
Uh,
or.
and then
But I
sometimes like the IUD can like get embedded in like the uterine lining or like
see that
the
shit
side.
scares me.
That's kind of spooky. But I haven't had any issues, and I probably had it for about 7, 8 years now, so it's
That's
coming
good.
up on. And you can have it up to 12 years, but I think 10 is probably like the suggested
Because I
limit.
know like it can also cause discomfort during sex. Because I know some girls, like, it depends on how big your cervix is, or how narrow, how like the length, because some girls have shorter ones. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm on the shorter end. So if you have a shorter, or depending on your guys' size too, I feel like that it will start to, like, at some point reach for it and
Yeah.
cause
I think
discomfort.
at first, um, my partner at the time could feel the strings poking out. There was like little strings that you could that are attached to the end of the IED, and I think he said he could feel them, but I think he was lying.
Did you feel it?
But I can't feel them because and you can theoretically like check your IED in place, but I can't feel them because my cervix apparently is like twisted up and hard to get to, so I cannot. I've never been able to feel it.
I'm dead.
So I
Okay,
think
twist it up. All right. That was like a weird thing to picture.
it's like around the corner and up this way.
She goes a little crooked here and then back this way.
Yeah.
No,
So
like,
that also made that why the implantation of the IUD was really uncomfortable too.
yeah, probably because it also had to, like, fixate itself in, like, a weird position, or like according to your. Because I know for
It's
me, like, my
itty-bitty.
my cervix is, like, very short. Um, and, like, I remember getting a pap, and I was just like, my legs high,
Oh,
spread, like, and then
I
you know
hate
how they open to get those, like, what are they called?
the speculums.
Yeah, just like all this cold metal, just stainless steel going
Yeah.
inside of you, and then boom, they open you
And they
up.
scrape, 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 scrape.
And then doesn't the
Ah,
fucking,
so
like,
uncomfortable.
doctor is like, the walls of your cervix are so beautiful and smooth.
Like, don't
I was
comment
like,
on my
I literally was like this.
anatomy and my organs.
I was like,
Like,
I didn't know what to say. And then she calls over her fucking assistant or whatever. She's like,
come have a
look
lookie.
at it. I was just laying there with my legs spread open. Like,
You're like, this is the most uncomfortable and violated I have felt in a long time. Can you please just get this over with?
I left feeling violated, but I was at the same time like, my cervix is beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that like weird how that, yeah, it does feel very invasive and violating.
It was a female. I know some girls want, like, males because, sorry, don't want males because obviously the degree to, like, what vulnerability you feel like at
That
that
is
point.
an interesting question. As a male, how do you, what, what would make you want to get into that field? As, let's say, a straight male, why would you choose to go into OBGYN? Answer below.
Okay, well, the same question goes for surgeons, though. What makes you go into plastic surgery?
I mean, but I think that is just different. Like, you want to do boob jobs and nose jobs, whatever. Or I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into plastic surgery. But, like, to specifically want to be like, I want to look after vaginas as a straight male. Like, what made you want to get into that?
It is something I never thought about, but I'm like, do you guys get as many clients?
What if, like, there were, okay, so let's say, like, there's a specific prostate health. As it, like, what?
Yeah,
what would make you
I'm going for
specifically? I want to check all the prostates. Like,
I'm just gonna finger
bend over and cough,
then...
baby.
That's a good question.
What would make you want to do that? Like, what? How did that? I just can't. I just don't. I don't know.
I never thought of that, because it would sound wrong if you're like, well, it's because I love the female anatomy. Then you're like, you're being a creep.
I think maybe they also are like, are they also delivering babies and stuff though too? So, like, maybe those pap smear exams are just like part of.
Yeah, well, those are like routinely things.
Because they're also like delivering babies, yada yada, doing that kind of thing, and then like occasionally having to do like.
Well, that comes with the job. It's like, well, that comes with the job. It's like, yeah, it's a part that I don't know. I think some females, I hate to say it, and I can't relate to this, but I think some females like to be touched like different. like not touched by a freaking professional, but the touch of a female and a male is different than you know what I mean. Even when you get a massage, it's different because you're like, well, I'd rather a male because a male goes deeper and like harder.
Yeah.
So and then
Yeah,
they
but I
got
don't
bigger
want him going
hands.
hard on my vagina. I want the delicate, soft angel touch of a female. I don't want some weird man digging into my vagina with his speculum.
You had to
Ew.
make it weird.
But I do, yeah, prefer male masseuse because they are a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, yeah, but then Nick gets the female, which I'm like, why? They're
Why?
weaker, but he's like, they're
Because
just
he
like it
feels
feels
weird
less
about a
weird.
man touching
Yeah,
him.
yeah, I think so. So I'm like, stop. You don't have to be so manly.
But
Let the man touch you. Who cares? Like
yeah.
when you're older, you're gonna get your prostate checked.
Does he feel like he's gay or something?
I don't know. He's very particular about those things, which I'm like, okay, it's fine. Again, some girls may like a male OB and like gynecologist, so it's totally okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
But
sure that there's obviously like very decent human being straight males out there who are OBGYNs, but I'm just curious and want to know
what made you go
what
for
made you
it?
want to get into that field.
Because I know at that point it's like my plastic surgeon when I got my boobs done. Like I went to get my consultation just to get like the sizing, and he's like, just take your top off, blah blah blah. And he said, just stand straight. I'm gonna go ahead and touch your boobs, feel them out, everything. He's like, just know that these are just boobs to me. It doesn't mean anything. I do this every single day. I see a bunch every day. So he's like, if you feel uncomfortable, let me know. But I'm like, just know that I'm desensitized to what these are. So I'm like, all right. But that was a very like specific speech. But I feel like that's exactly what like male
Yeah, I'm sure they
gynecologists.
are
It's like,
desensitized.
well, it's
For
just
sure.
another body part to them, you know?
Yeah, it's just anatomy. It's nothing special.
You imagine? This is very like TMI, but like imagine the color sizes and smells.
Yeah, everybody's very different down there.
Like I'm just saying, it's a really
What does the perfect vagina look like?
Oh,
Apparently, you have it.
I actually looked. Have you ever looked? There's like a whole like category of like how the anatomy of both the inner and the outer are like placed and how like loose they are, how big they are, and they all have names. And I was trying to find mine.
I don't know if I've seen this chart, but how the lips can be big or the
Yeah,
can hang over or
it's the
like
thing.
the clit can be like tucked under or hang out. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, and then you can if your things are like too big nowadays, you can make your thing look pretty. It's called what's it called?
There's like a surgery.
Yeah, it's called
Labial
yes,
labial
yes,
mastectomy. I don't know. I just
yes. Imagine
something
them
like that.
cutting your lips. I don't know. It's freaky to me, but I was like looking into it.
Maybe if you had some like really dramatic hangage,
yeah, you will
that
have to
might
get
be
it
something
done.
that you would want because like not only like maybe are they self-conscious about that, but I feel like it could probably be uncomfortable. Like, don't you think if you had like a bunch of
Extra
labial extra
stuff. I mean, depending
and
how
like and it's
extra.
like sitting like riding on a bike like in your jeans like
It's just
rubbing it,
folding.
like
There's layers to things now.
uncomfortable.
I mean, yeah, and I think it's like, well, you're like, can you see me? I can't see you, but are you still there?
I'm here. What?
Oh, your thing
Did I
went
go
away
away?
on mine, but
Oh.
it says recording continues smoothly. Just keep
I'm still
going.
here.
But yeah, like basically, it's like if you feel uncomfortable, now you have that option. If you didn't know, you can actually. I
Go
mean,
get it.
I feel like some girls,
cut
if
off.
you do like the, if you do like, I don't know what to call it without sounding aggressive.
Wasn't that one of the questions you got from the first time with like what cosmetic procedures that we've done or
Yeah,
had?
like or what we think about them.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
yeah,
whatever makes you feel good.
I've had fillers. I had lip and under eye fillers, and then I get Botox like here and here. and then I had breast augmentation, but that's about it. I haven't had any like
what made you want to get it?
for like I'm 30. We're in our 30s right now. I wanted to do like more of the Botox for like preventative wrinkles, but I also am a major like scowler. I can't make it
Same.
because I've got Botox, but like I would do this all the time, and I was getting like those 11 lines that were just staying.
I have
And
them.
so yeah, I
Because when
got.
I drive, for some reason, even when I
Mhm.
sleep, Nick took a picture. I'm like this. I'm like, why do I look
So,
so angry?
so the Botox, will freeze that, and now I can't make that face. And then like this preventative, like for crow's feet wrinkles, and then the under eye filler I got because I had some like asymmetry in my face where like I had more of like hollowness like on this side
Hmm.
than on this side, so I got them evened out, and then lip filler because who doesn't want juicy lips?
I want to get lip fillers. I actually got half a syringe once, and Nick was laughing at me because I sent him a picture. He's like, "Oh, they look a little extra, but they're fine." But then I felt ripped off because 2 days
Well,
after
they
it was
they were probably
completely
just
gone.
really swollen. I
Yeah.
haven't had mine filled in like a year and a half,
Oh wow.
but they have hung
What
on.
did you do? Juvederm or whatever that's called?
Juvederm, just like 1 cc top bottom.
See, I want to do it because I feel like my um my upper lip is way bigger than my lower. So I feel like I want to get it done like one, like a legit, because I feel like last time I was completely ripped off. But yeah, I've only done that. I got Botox once on here, like 2 years ago. So it's definitely not
Yeah,
there
and it only
anymore.
lasts like 5 6 months, so
Especially if you work out a lot, it
yeah, you
metabolizes.
metabolize it
Yeah,
faster.
and then yeah, my boobs. Then that's it. And
Yeah,
I would love. I know everyone says there's nothing wrong with your nose,
I know. I kind of want
but
one.
this is if like
Just
me
like
being picky, I wanted to like get like a little like lift here and like this
yeah,
little. Because when I was a kid, I threw myself on the ground into like the edge of the curb, and I landed on my nose.
oh no.
So I basically like there's this little bump here, and then I have sensitive skin here. So when I get a sunburn, this part gets really bad.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little like narrowing and a little
Your nose
lift.
is fine. See, that's because I'm like, your nose is fine. And then
And I
when
think
someone
yours
tells
is
me my
fine.
nose is fine, but this is us being picky. But in terms
It's
of like,
social media is peer pressuring us, you
yeah,
guys.
but
Don't give in. I
if
mean,
it
whatever.
makes
Do
you
whatever.
look, if you're doing it for you, I feel like you should. If you're doing it to fit in and look the part, don't do it because at the end of the day, you may regret it. And I think we got our boobs done at a very good age. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
because getting them too young is like one, maybe the wrong reasons. Two, your body's not fully developed, and I feel like even us, like I feel like some girls get pregnant and their boob size completely just blows up, and
Yeah.
then
And then, you supposedly need to redo them every 10 years. So that's
yeah,
also, if you do them young, then you have more surgeries of redoing them,
yeah.
replacing them.
Yeah, so I just think it requires a lot of research. It requires a lot of like within kind of reflecting of why you're doing it. And obviously the financial aspect is like it's quite a lot of money, especially in these countries. Like in you go to Colombia, it's probably half or a third of the price, but at what risk?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, then also, like, you paying to go over there is expensive.
yeah, so just
So
take all these things into account and yeah, I fully support. I don't condone anyone that gets lip fillers
yeah, do
or
what you want, but just
don't go
make
overboard either.
sure
I
you're
feel like
not.
girls can go overboard with the lips. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, turn it
Yeah,
down
I
a
know.
notch.
I feel like
You also look
mine
good
in this
though.
lighting look crazy, but they're
No,
not.
because I think it's like proportionate to your face, and also if you go to the side, you don't look like this. It's probably so ugly when I did it. But like when you go to the side, all you see is like this sticking out. Then that is just like I don't think even
Or
guys
when
are into it.
the like filler can like migrate to like
Yeah,
around your lip, and then you just kind of get this like poofy.
yeah. So go invest. Don't go to like don't cheap out on things that are cosmetic because, again, you can end up looking worse or you can end up spending more money because now you need to fix and retry. So, yeah, we can touch on that topic more. I guess we can talk about our own like breast augmentation experience.
Yeah, I know Britt has had some things done, so she
Yeah.
could also speak on the topic.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I think we're going to wrap this up. I think we talked about a lot of things. Very freestyle TMI situations, but
Yeah.
that's how we roll. And yeah, anything you want to say to wrap this up?
No, but thanks for listening. And again, drop a comment if you want us to answer some more things in the future. And
yeah, and if
like
you guys
and subscribe, all that good stuff.
Don't agree with anything that we said, also
drop your argue
comments.
Whatever. Let us know your opinions on trans in sports.
Yeah, shoot it straight,
etc. Why do males become OBGYNs, etc.
Hey, if you know that something that we didn't say or some of our facts may be wrong, ours were in facts. These were logical assumptions. But if you know some facts and things that we may educate
us, please.
Yeah, please do it. That's what we're here for, sharing our thoughts and just willing to learn as well. So, yeah, that's it, guys, for today's episode. We will see you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.
Nos vemos.
Adios.
Adios.